So here's the tea. I went from working multiple jobs at one time, door dashing, you name it, I tried it, and still not really being able to pay my bills, to currently having up to 6-figure months. What rich people won't tell you is a lot of this is mental. It's not about being a hard worker and literally digging your own grave so that like you can't enjoy your life. No, honey. Rich people are in Turks and Caicos enjoying their life. So let me put you on. I don't care if you believe in this or not. I don't get a cookie. I don't get a reward if you do. I'm just trying to give you the keys to the car. If you want to drive it, that's fine. And I'm just telling my personal story. So whether you vibe with this concept or not, totally up to you, but at least you have the information and you can do with understanding. Before we dive into what an abundance mindset is, I just want to touch on the law of attraction because personally, I think they go hand in hand. Both of them have a lot to do with the mindset. With law of attraction, the gist is what you put out energetically is going to come back to you. I strongly believe in that. If you want to learn more about the law of attraction, there are plenty of YouTube videos out there already, but I would also recommend looking into the movie or the book called The Secret. Really good introduction to the whole concept behind law of attraction.
How it works is basically, according to quantum physics, everything in the world is made up out of atoms, and atoms all vibrate at a certain frequency. And another part of this is that like energy attracts like energy. So as humans, our vibration is based on how we feel. So if you're in a really good mood, you're really happy, that means you're vibrating at a really high frequency. And if you're in a bad mood, you're upset, you're sad, that kind of thing, you're vibrating at a lower frequency. So if you look back, you might notice that on days you're feeling really good, it seemed like everything was working out for you. And on days you're in a bad mood, it seemed like things kind of kept going wrong. Or you were thinking about something a lot and then all of a sudden it appeared in your life. This is because you were attracting these experiences based on the level that you were vibrating. So to take advantage of this, start thinking about what it is you want to have and specifically what you would feel if you already had it, because that's what's going to put you on the same frequency of that thing, and that's when it'll appear in your life.
You have to kind of acknowledge that a lot of that has to do with your thoughts and what you think and your belief. An abundance mindset isn't just about money. It's like a lifestyle, okay, if you will. It can be applied to any area of your life that you feel lack in, or it could just be a general habit that you develop and learn how to use.
Abundance mentality essentially means that you say no to things that aren't in alignment with you because you have the confidence that this will neither be the first nor the last opportunity that for me. It also just feels better to live a life that's meant for you rather than what society prescribes to people.
To make things really clear, I'm going to use money as the prime example because that is really how I learned about an abundance mindset. But that said, you can always use an abundance mindset for any area of your life you feel lack. Relationships, love, your well-being, your mental health, happiness. Like you can use this in any area. So do not box yourself in here. So it's called an abundance mindset for a reason because it has a lot to do with your mindset. And off the jump, you'd probably think, well, of course, like I want all the things, I want money and all these things, but yeah, we all do. But you have to go a little bit deeper. You have to go to the subconscious part of your mind, which is really hard to do. And you have to tap into these things that are like buried. You have to go back to your childhood. Relive the trauma. I'm sorry, yes, it's hard. You have to relive some difficult situations you went through because those were key moments in your life that created the current narrative you have. So I'm gonna give you an example of myself, right? When I was rewiring and trying to get to the root of my money issues on a subconscious level, I had to go back to childhood. I had to go back to baby B and be like, what's up? What you doing? We gotta heal you so that I can move on. And that's really what it took. So there were moments in my childhood, I had to remember these little phrases that I kept hearing that might have not come from a bad place from anyone that was saying them around me, but they were seeds to me and they grew and they formed my beliefs. So for example, I'm sure you've heard this one too, money doesn't grow on trees, okay? Which interprets to, you know, me that it's scarce, that there isn't enough for everybody, that you have to work really hard to have money and be happy and be rich. I also heard things like, we don't have McDonald's money. And like when McDonald's has a 99-cent menu, I created beliefs off that even when I was super young because we're really smart when we're kids too. We connect the dots. Just being around family members or friends who felt stressed by money. They didn't even have to say it sometimes, but on an energetic level, you like feel their anxiety and their tension, because we're all to some degree empathetic beings. I love my mom, but I know she did not like looking at her bank account. And so if the law of attraction is true, if you're scared of money, money's scared of you. So why would it want to come in your bank account? You need to be welcoming it. You need to be thanking it. You need to be like sending it love. So these are the things that I had to start being aware of, right? And it was really hard for me to do that. It was probably the hardest part of this whole process, was going back and rewriting my narrative. I had terrible beliefs around money, but a lot of us do. It doesn't just come from the people we're surrounded by. It comes from movies, songs. It comes from so many different things that we don't consent to, technically, but they just imprint on us. Once I had gone through the whole trauma, reliving these things, I sat down and took a piece of paper, folded it in half, and on one side, I went off. I wrote down every single fear that I had surrounding money. It was very difficult. It was very hard. It felt very yucky, but I had to be really honest. I'll give you a few examples of things I wrote down. I wrote down that I thought the only way to make money is if you work really hard. That's not true. Yes, hard work is a part of the equation, but it is not everything. And like, please don't fall for that one, because the amount of like filthy rich people I've met are not living like this. They have people working for them and they don't think like that. They don't. They make money in their sleep. They literally fart and make a lot of money. Another belief that I had, which it gets deep, like even based off of who you are in society, as a Black woman, as a Black child, I didn't see a ton of Black wealth around me. So I thought, well, because I'm Black, I'm not going to get these things and these privileges. So that was another thing I wrote down that was hard to address. I also wrote down that I wasn't worthy of having money. I didn't think I deserved to have money. When you start writing this list, like, I think you kind of break this barrier and it just starts flowing out of you, and it's like, holy shit, I didn't realize I was thinking all these things and not verbalizing them or knowing where they came from. When you start to realize where these negative thoughts and beliefs come from, you can start to change them. So don't be afraid of facing them head on. Write that shit down, okay? So I had a whole list of all these fears and my beliefs around money. I flipped that paper over, okay? Flipped that paper over, and I began to rewrite my narrative. It's my fucking narrative. It's your fucking narrative. Nobody gets to tell you what your story is. It's your life, okay? So you get to rewrite how you want it to be. So for example, whatever the fear was, I would write the complete opposite on the other side of the paper. I had on there that I hated looking at my bank account. I was scared to look at my bank account because I feared there would not be enough. So the opposite of that on the right side of the paper is I love looking at my bank account because I know I always have money. You start to rewrite this, and then you have a completely new side of the paper with positive beliefs around whatever it is that you felt lack around. From there, what you're gonna do is put it into action. You're gonna look at that